Hello everyone, welcome back to our Arctic Traveler series. Hey, if you didn't catch my other one, the first episode one, go check it out. And you can scroll through all my other posts. You can listen to stories, see some videos, kind of give you an idea of what I do and where I travel. In this video, you can see me snowshoeing in front of the dogs. Then I'll show another video of myself skiing in front of the dogs. But we left off at the other series talking about history, where I came up with this training philosophy for dog sledding. Um, it started long ago in the early 1980s, actually. And after I spent 7 months up in the mountains with one of my dogs, and I moved north to the Arctic and built a small cabin alongside the river. And my wife at that time was living with me. And back in those days, you just built a cabin where you wanted. All I had was I had my three dogs for a dog team, and a canoe, and an axe, and and our supplies, our food, clothing. And I didn't even have a saw. And I went ahead and built a log cabin with just an axe. And that's just how things were back then. Nice little cabin alongside the river. Pretty small, but nonetheless, needed a small cabin to stay warm. Then I had an old oil drum, old oil barrel that I built a wood stove out of, and had some stovepipe. So put a wood stove in it, and it was pretty comfortable in there. But little did I know, we picked the coldest area in North America. It was 65 and 70 below days on end. But at least the wind wasn't blowing, so it wasn't too bad. But that's where I learned how to dress for cold weather. Everything was made of fur. My boots were made of fur. My mittens were made of fur. I built a fur parka, hats, you name it. And I realized fur was the warmest clothing you can imagine. Anyhow, with my three dogs, that was our transportation. And we hauled everything with those three dogs. Traveled everywhere with them. And not once did I ride on the sled. It just didn't even come across my mind. I mean, why would I want to ride on the sled when I was totally capable of snowshoeing or skiing? And I didn't even think of it. And I wasn't around too many dog mushers back then, living in remote areas. Um, I was lived in this logging camps in the summertime. I was a logger, and this in the mountains by myself in the winter. So I wasn't too familiar with the dog mushing methods of nowadays. I just did what I thought was good for the dogs and what was efficient traveling. And so from that time of having three dogs, and I increased the team to five, and I did the same thing. I traveled on foot, snowshoes or skis. It worked out pretty well, and I noticed the dog could pull an enormous amount of weight. Then eventually we moved around some other people, I guess, villages, Wiseman, Alaska, and there was a lot of dog mushers in the town, a lot of Iditarod racers. And someone offered, hey, why don't you run the Yukon Quest? You got a really good team. Why don't you run the race? So I started training for the Yukon Quest. And I was around all these other dog mushers, racers, and I realized, if I train my dogs to race, I'll never be able to travel in the back country again. It's entirely different mindset for those dogs. Um, so I was at a crossroads. Either I race, stay on trails, or I venture off into the wilderness, explore the Arctic, and not think about racing. Because the training philosophies are different between night and day. And of course, I chose the Arctic, Arctic Traveler. And this is where my training came in, and I kind of fine tuned it. So this is what these videos are going to be about. They're going to be about training your dog to do the best he possibly can, living to his fullest potential, and also the training methods I use. As you can see in these videos, I'm on snowshoes and skis, and deep snow. I travel on the sea ice a lot, all over the Arctic with these dogs. Have a lot of different techniques, methods, sled building that I want to talk to you about. Well, hopefully I can cover quite a bit before I head up to the next Arctic expeditions, would be 3 months, and I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, I'll post what I can here. Um, I have lots more videos to show and much more to talk about. But please subscribe to Substack. There's two options: free option or the paid option. If you want to help these guys, these dogs, help pay for dog food, the paid option really does help. And once we get going up there in the Arctic, I will be offering audio updates through Substack as well, but those are going to have to be paid option because it costs so much money in satellite phone and minutes and have someone post them. So if you want to subscribe to the paid option, you will receive those. But nonetheless, I'm happy to serve the dog mushing community and the dog community at large. I'm really honored and privileged the good Lord has given me this opportunity. So see you next time. God bless.